When Tom was born, his mum bought this fish. So by the time we were in the house, the fish was the same age as him. And he ran out of money. So one day he just dumped white spirit in it. And slowly watched that fish turn upside down and float up. So I started calling him Salmon Hussein. Yeah, great times. I don't know, he just ran out of money. But I don't know why he didn't ask for a tenner, you know. It's like, what tenner you... He should have just asked me, could I borrow £10 or my fish going to die? My mum's going to be upset. We would have given it to him. No, guy kills the fish. So when the fish is dead, he eventually tells his mum, she cried because it was a symbol of her son's life. What a madman. Yeah, it was fucking intense, man. You had all of them in there. Place looked like shit. Tom actually had a whole castle of red striped beers, which is why I buy them now, because it reminds me of that time at the top of the stairs. And one day that fucking shit just came all the way back down. So yeah, it was fun times. They used to have a bit in the wall where they would stab in the kitchen. Boise had a wall with the rats, you know. He'd shoot one. And then sometimes he'd wake up and they would be making death threats while they looked at his face. Yeah, it was crazy. It was mental. Once I went to pick up a guitar at like 1 a.m. and woke Yanni up, and there was nothing in his room. It was just him, a broken man on weed and alcohol, just sitting there on his knees, red-eyed, going, here it is. You know, just like, fuck. It was just crazy, man. It was bad. It was bad. Boise would sometimes have the cleanest room. How crazy. Now sometimes his socks have the same radiation as Chernobyl. How times change. Sometimes he would lock himself in there and just play Championship Manager, you know, and it was already out of date by 10 years, that game. Fucking hell, he must have spent 120 hours on that fucking game, man. While everyone tried to wake him up and he'd have to lock his room.
It was on top of a bookies, like a floor, well, 2 floors above a bookies. You had to get to it from a side road up a fire escape, so that was perfect because no one could find the place. Who if we didn't want you to find it, you wouldn't be able to find us. So you had to go down a back road, up a fire escape, then round, and then up a flight of stairs, which was perfect. We had neighbours downstairs from us, poor bastards. Yeah, looking back on it now, younger, but looking back on it now, yeah, we must have drove them mad, like absolutely mad, just with the noise and the degeneracy that was going upstairs.
I'm getting steady money in from the council. Council pay good fucking money. Well, for someone like me, you know, like all of a sudden I'm getting like $1,000 a month. I've never had that kind of money before in my life that regularly, you know. Me, Boise and Tom are going to move in together. We've decided this over the summertime. Lee's not so sure, but he sees that there's some action's gonna happen. That we're gonna, and also at the time I must say I was watching Blood Sugar Sex Magic. There's the documentary Funky Monks when they're all in the house making an album, and I was watching that like a good 3 years before that, and like I just had the idea in my head that is the way to live as a band. You get in a house, you live together, you fucking record in the house, you just lived in this house, and the music becomes like this extra person that you all make up, like Transformers or something, or one of them things.
I think I was living with Anya at that time. It was just because I was with my missus really, and I just thought I don't need to do that, you know, like we can be productive when we get together, you know. We don't have to do all this kind of motley crew living in a house, and you guys can do that, man. But I've got my missus, and I'm doing what I want to do, and then they were pissed off, man. I could tell, like they weren't happy. It was all very under the surface, you know, like. But what can I do, man? I'm someone who does my own thing, you know, and a bit naughty at times. Do you know what I mean? So I would have just got fucked up, man, and like, where would it have got me? Do you know? Like you say, I don't think nothing would have changed. If anything, I would have been influenced us at that time to be more stupid. So less would have got done. My missus is keeping my head straight a bit, you know, because like, I was going a bit silly with things at certain times and drinking and, you know, that kind of stuff. So not that I wanted to go into an old man, but I just was living with my missus, so I wasn't going to move out, just do that and go and live with them because they want to live as a band. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that was probably the first real friction point. And I remember Steph, Tom's missus, always used to fucking phone while he was at rehearsals and like come up with some stupid excuse why he's got to leave and stuff. And that was really annoying. It just causes friction, you know. Women cause friction in bands, man. It's just a fact, you know. But obviously I was in love with my missus and, you know, so I was going to stay with her rather than move to the house.
Yeah, we look at a bunch of places, like we all had the money to do it. So yeah, Boyce's got the money, Tom's got the money, and you know, so we're looking at all these different places, and me and Boyce find this place just in by Wolves and Bus Garage, which later known, I think Ben called it the Roach Motel, was the nickname it was known as. Yeah, we all moved in. I got seriously fucking shafted by having a small room in that. There was some stupid game that we all had where we were drinking shots or something, and whoever, like, we said at the time, you know, we're going to change rooms every 3 months, so we're all going to have a go to get the big room, which never fucking happened, you know? It was never going to happen. So I lost this drinking game, and I'm the one in the smallest room.
Basically, we decided to have a tournament of certain games. It was such a... basically, yeah, it was a drinking... We got into the flat, we all started drinking. Even before anything was decided, we all started sort of having a good time. No rooms were decided. And then I think it was maybe 11... In fact, I think it might have been sort of going to bedtime when we thought, okay, we'll actually have to decide who's going to be where. So we decided to have, I think it was a 3-tier competition or something, with arm wrestling. Then you'd have to down a mug of whiskey, and there was something else. And it came down to me and Yanni, I think. So I beat Tom in the arm wrestling, and then it was the drinking a mug of whiskey. And I was quite impressed. I did quite well, but not as well as Tom. Tom literally just downed the glass of whiskey. I was halfway, and then I was like, yeah, I think you've won this now. I'm not going to finish the half glass of whiskey you won. Get upstairs. So... yeah, that was basically it, and that was to be honest, that was quite a good room. You had an ensuite. It was that was a good room. But I didn't mind. I didn't want to finish the half mug of whiskey. He could have had that, and because Steph was moving in as well. Not that we gave her, like, to be honest, she wasn't even invited, so it's not like that should have made a difference. But because we kind of she was staying there, it kind of sort of made sense that, because I think I think we did sort of discuss that maybe we'd do rotation, like after, but then, yeah. And to be honest, by that point, Tom had built another room within his room as a studio. So by that point, I wouldn't have changed anyway, because I'm not having a room where these dickheads are going upstairs playing all the fucking time. So after he built that room, which we never got permission for either, he could have had that room.
As we're getting in there, we start building. Tom, as he loves doing these things, starts building like a studio within his room, the attic room. As he's doing that, Steph's griefing with him a bit more, because he just made this fucking studio in their room, and then we're going in and out of there we go and buy it. Like, now I've got this job, we go and buy this mixing desk, which Tom's also got now, from a place in Central that's not there anymore. I think it's called Turnkey. And at the time, I guess they must have saw my thing. Like, they were like, yeah, all right, we'll give you it. You got good credit, like, which I don't even have these days. Like, and we got this mixing desk on what do you call it? Hire purchase. Yeah. So we get that and we start recording. Lee's coming over to do guitar part, and I guess this is where like, I guess Jason, the friction I'd call it, kind of starts building, because Jason's not turning up for this kind of stuff.
Well, I don't know, was it always a plan to build a studio in one of the rooms or something? I don't know. But either way, because Tom had the biggest room, it was going there. So yeah, Tom put his drum kit up there, got some plywood and fucking made a little room, and he done a good little job, to be fair. Like, done quite well, like put like lights up in there, got a little vibe. But it was the smallest fucking thing, like it's half the size of this shed, maybe even less, like, and you could only really get 2 people in there playing at the same time. So yeah, it was wicked, man. He built it all up, and we all chipped in to buy this big recording desk thing, and we thought, yeah, we're gonna make an album and that. But yeah, we decided to make the little EP or demo or whatever first. From what I remember, Tom went in there and I went and done like scratch rhythms with him, like just not really playing loud, or I don't think I might not have even been plugged in, but or I might have been plugged into something, headphones that he could hear. But yeah, basically we played and he recorded the drum tracks. Then after that, like, it was done in stages, but probably I recorded most of my guitar tracks in probably 1 or 2 nights. I think it was one night. I think I'd done everything. So I had my big ass Marshall stack in that little room as well. So yeah, we mic'd that up and got a surprisingly alright sound, considering we couldn't really turn it up more than like 1 or 2 or something. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, recording was good, and we felt like, yeah, we're getting a bit kind of getting headway, you know, starting to get stuff down.
I was actually quite impressed. I thought, oh, well, fuck me, we're going to have to take that down when we leave. But I was impressed. It was fairly soundproof. And, saying that, it wasn't soundproof, actually. You could still hear that from quite... Well, in fact, I think there was a window right beside it as well, so you could pretty much hear it out on the street. So God knows what... Well, I was underneath and Yanni was underneath as well. But even the neighbours underneath probably could have heard. But it was good. It was good for how long it took him and the materials he had. It was small, like, because his room wasn't that big either. So this was a room within. This was a small room within a small room, in the corner. So basically, you'd have the drum kit, Tom squeezing in behind there, and then maybe one person with guitar and what have you. So that was mainly used for when they were doing it for the drums. And then I remember when we were recording the EP, we did a lot of the stuff downstairs on the mixing desk, which probably didn't help the neighbours downstairs at all. I actually remember Lee Man going right downstairs in our corridor, right beside their door, to try and get better acoustics, I believe. With a Buy It You Scum was the song, and that must have been about 10 o'clock at night, and even I thought we're pushing the boundaries a little bit for just good grace with our neighbours. So so it was okay.
Yeah, so we're doing that, but like, this sounding good. Tom's getting a good sound out of this little room he's made. Yeah, and then it starts going good, and now first few months there are pretty good, pretty creative, nice. You know, then all the nonsense starts kind of happening. A lot of parties are going on. We got a drug dealer that's just coming and giving us weed every day. Just kind of slowly goes downhill, you know? You know what I mean? Like, just chicken burgers, plaques and guitar. I was having an affair with the Italian woman that lived next door.
Yanni lucked out there. That's why I still think he plays guitar today. Apparently she heard Yanni playing guitar. Yanni was rocking out in his bedroom as he used to do, and apparently he got a knock on the door or something. I don't even know if I was in at that point, but he sure as hell told me when I came back about how he was rocking out and his guitar music was so good that some girl from next door came and started asking him and da. But yeah, they had a little relationship. I can't remember how it lasted for. She was crazy, but she was fun, and Yanni seemed to enjoy her. I can't remember her name, but yeah, I remember one time me and Jason came back from somewhere, and Yanni was cleaning up the house, like the flat, and which was very odd. And we're like, why the hell is Yanni tidying up that house? And then we realised that his missus had demanded that he started tidying up. So obviously Jason saw this as an excuse to take the piss out of Yanni. And that didn't go down well with Yanni's girlfriend. So she told Jason basically to shut up and get mopping as well. So oh boy. But yeah, Yanni still says to this day that it was his guitar playing that wooed her from beyond the wall.
There was a crazy Italian that he was dating for a little while, and she had us like kidnapped, man. She was like, nobody move in the room, I am going to clean. And she would clean, and she's like, Yanni, you better clean the sink. And then he's like, well, I had my dick sucked, so I better do it. And like, well, we were just like paralyzed in this room, not being able to move, while Yanni, cleaned the sink with a fucking toothbrush, and she just went militant. Everything needed to be clean. So because of his fucking penis wishes, we couldn't move. Yeah, it was crazy, man. Then we started painting a mural on this one huge wall. Yanni's got loads of photos of that. We just randomly painted on this wall. We found a dead mouse under the microwave and a dead mouse under a welcome mat. Boise was shooting at him. Oh, dude. They were writing V for Vendetta on his door. Crazy mouse Boise beef, man. I think it's because they were loyalists and he was Republican. That shit. Mice can be very political.
Well, it wasn't really a war. It was just the fact that we were living such, like, I mean, how hard is it to take out fucking rubbish bags from a house, But when you're in a perpetual state of fucking being stoned and drunk, those things are on the back burner, basically. I remember one night we had 10 bags of fucking rubbish in our living room for some reason. How you get 10 bags of rubbish and don't actually take anything out is... So basically what that means is we cleaned up from a party or what have you, put it in black bags, and then just left them black bags there for weeks. Which, I mean, it got so bad with the mice that when me and Yanni went to bed, because we were on the ground floor, all you could hear was basically like footsteps, because there were so many of them just roaming around. But I've had that experience before, because when me and Lee Man used to live in Southampton, we must have had giant rats in the ceiling. Like, it sounded like someone was actually in our loft stamping around. And one night me and Lee had to go up there with axes to try and do a bit of pest control, because our landlord was like such a rip-off merchant. So although I was pissed off with the mice, I wasn't freaking out too much about the mice. And then we also found a mouse on top of the microwave that had an open wound in his neck. We don't know how that happened either. We were actually trying to do detective work to figure out how it happened. And we also had a very squashed mouse. You remember that one? But yeah, it was just a degenerate house. Our house in Acton was probably cleaner, more of a degenerate house, but cleaner. Yeah. Even when we were leaving, the letting agent came in, and she basically asked us how we could live like this. And that was the letting agency. Should have told her to shut the fuck up, actually, because 2 years later they were on the news for being racist. They wouldn't let properties out to black people. Yeah, that was on ITV News. They actually had a secret camera crew go in there to report them.
One time on New Year's, I had a couple beers with them. Oh God, this is so embarrassing. I had a couple beers with them and I was going past the bus stop, and someone asked me for a cigarette. And I was like, nah, I don't smoke. Or maybe I just said nah. Maybe I was really rude. And then as I went by, I heard, oh yeah, whatever, you pussy. And I got to the corner, I was like, who are you calling a pussy? Anyways, I walked home. And it's about a 22-minute walk here. And as I was about to put my key in the door, I was like, he called me a pussy. So I ran all the fucking way back, right? And it was the same chav who asked me for a cigarette. He was still at the bus stop. Oh wait, he'd crossed the road. So I kicked him in the back. I kicked him in the spine, punched him at the back of the head. He fell over. And by that time, like over the time it took me to go back, I was seething with hate. I was just like, "Oh, you're calling a pussy!" Like the blood was boiling, veins were popping out everywhere. And he went, "That weren't me." And I was like, "Oh shit, he did have a different voice." So I just ran back to the Roach Motel and just hung out to watch the guy from the window. Like all of the anger just drained away and went, "Oh shit, I just beat up a guy on New Year's," and it was the wrong guy. Yeah. So yeah, we had fun.
Good fucking times there. Like coming back from central London, like getting a 98 straight back from central London, all drink on us, all having a good time, going straight back into the flat. That like was perfect sort of thing. You can't get better than that. Just hanging out with, yeah, but I'm not gonna say it was like the coolest house going and stuff. It was just what probably most of London does when they're in that age. Just has a good time, has a base, and does whatever they want to do sort of there. But I enjoyed it.
I don't know, like, and also around the time, I'm not feeling too good, man. Like, I'm going work, I've got to get high to get through work, I'm coming out of it. Things are, you know, as time goes on, it's like, where is this going, you know? First 3 or 4 or 5 months of rock and roll, great times. Yeah, so then, you know, it slowly starts getting more and more downhill from there. It's just drugs, I guess, man. Too much. Well, for me anyway, it was like just smoking too much, drinking a lot, and you know, like we were doing well, but not. We kind of got as far as we could at that point, and then yeah. So around here, I don't know. Jason and Lee just kind of wants him out of the band because he's not turning up to rehearsals enough. I kind of always understood that Jason didn't need to be there anyway. Like, he was solid enough to, if he could just turn up to rehearse before a gig and play at a gig, I could see that he could execute that well, and that he could do that, and that he was a big part of our live presence. Is like, he was definitely fucking part of it. Like, I think we definitely lost something when we got rid of him, you know? Like, energy-wise in the band.
Single time, mistakes are washed up clean. Tired of this boring scene. Head down on a pillow of steel, hiding from those things that you feel. Chasing, but never moving fast. Slipping, my grip will never last. Chasing sleep every single night. Hours melt like candlelight. If you could wait on me, I could always drift away. Sweat pours down my back. Dreams have me under attack. Mirrors crack and walls close.
Sometimes I wonder if you really understand.